What it do, what it do, what it do? Welcome back to the channel, baby.
Yeah.
What it do, what it do, what it do, Half and J family. Welcome back to the channel, baby. It's your boy Half.
And your girl Jay.
And we back
with another reaction video.
All right, y'all, so we back again with another reaction. So we about to jump straight into another commentary. So let them know who we're going to react to today.
Joe Rogan.
And the commentary is...
The incident that made Candace Owens a conservative.
The incident that made Candace Owens a conservative. All right, so let's see what this is going to be talking about. Very interesting title, Joe Rogan. Very interesting dude as well, so let's get into it. But before we do, everybody that's out there who has not yet subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button.
Yes.
Turn your post notifications on.
Yes.
Like and share this video.
Yes.
And comment down below, baby. Down below. Come and join the squad, man. Half and J. We over here kicking off. What? Good vibes, baby. Good vibes. Boom.
You're a very popular, what I would call conservative thinker.
Yeah.
But you're very young.
I am.
Like, how did this all happen? How did you become this Fox News personality, conservative thinker?
Yeah, I mean, I just launched a YouTube channel and
Oh, fucking YouTube.
yeah, YouTube where magic happens. YouTube's a strange place. And
It's
I
as
think
strange
it's
as it
another
gets.
strange place. Yeah.
Well, it's the internet.
It's the internet. Yeah,
Strange
strange things happen on the internet. But yeah, I just I was really passionate. I understood. I had studied for it sounds strange, but I spent a year underground studying politics once I had my red pill moment, if that's what you want to call
Well,
it.
explain that, because you used to be a liberal.
Right.
And then you became a conservative.
That's correct.
So what was it?
So the story really starts with high school, I guess. You know how things can happen to you in life and they don't make sense when they happen. You're like, why God me? And then you get a little older and you're like, this makes perfect sense.
Right.
So I was the quote-unquote victim of a hate crime when I was in high school.
When you say quote-unquote victim, you don't
I hate
think
the
you're
word
a
victim. No, I hate the word victim. And and again, I can see why early on I've sort of developed this mentality that there's no value in being a victim, and people rush to call people a victim. They rush to call somebody the aggressor.
So how do you describe it? That you experienced a hate crime?
I experienced something that was labeled a hate crime. I wouldn't even call it hate crime. I think we live in a label-obsessed culture, and before we seek to understand what happened, we seek to
put in a box.
Yeah.
So what happened?
Someone has to be a demon, someone has to be an angel.
Right.
So what happened was I received some voicemail messages from about 4 kids, and that the language was pretty strong. It was we're gonna tar and feather your family, we're gonna put a bullet in the back of your head like we did to Martin Luther King, N-word, N-word, N-word.
And you received these on your phone?
On my cell phone, yeah.
How'd they get your phone number?
Well, there was a prank phone call, so I didn't know. I was 4 male voices, and I was in high school at the time, and I was okay, I cannot think of 4 human beings that want me dead that would say we're gonna put a bullet in the back of your head like we did to Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks, naming off.
Where'd you go to school? Where were you? What part of the country?
Stanford High School in Connecticut.
Okay, that's a shithole.
Yeah, it's a total shithole.
I hate Connecticut.
Yeah, no, Connecticut's not a shithole.
It's a running joke, I'm sorry.
Right.
I always shit on Connecticut. I have my buddy Tommy Jr., he lives in Connecticut, and I'm always telling him, dude, you gotta move out of Connecticut, and it became this terrible running joke where I talk about that Connecticut's the worst state.
Have you actually been?
Yeah, a bunch of times.
Yeah.
I used to work there all the time.
Where? What city?
Well, I used to work in all over Connecticut when I was doing stand-up. I would drive from Boston into Connecticut. I did a lot of gigs in Hartford. I did gigs.
Hartford is a shithole.
Yeah, it's a shithole.
Bridgeport is a shithole.
Shout out to Marlon Starling Jr. though.
Yeah.
He was a boxer that came out of Hartford.
Yeah.
Big time boxer. Marlon Starling. But when you were in high school,
right,
somebody started doing this prank call and shit on you, and was this...
It was all in one night.
It was all in one night?
Yeah, it was 4 voicemails.
Was this tied to a boyfriend?
No,
or
so I was
jealous?
at a boyfriend's house when I got the calls, and I just put it to silent because it was blocked number, so I was I didn't think anything of it. And then when I listened to it, it was some pretty horrific stuff. I definitely cried. I was 17 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next day at school, I took this philosophy class, and I don't know what the topic was. I don't know what prompted me to raise my hand and introduce what had happened last night as like, you know, a segue. Maybe I just needed to get off my chest. But like the teacher like spazzed out and was like, get up, we're going to the principal's office. Like, you know, you have to report this. He brings me into the office. The principal like freaked out. Like she just like, the language was like, you know, it was shocking, you know? And then she called like the resource officer, and then like, the next period of my life was like a blackout, because it turned out that 3 of the kids I had never even met. Like this was like maybe some kids that had their first beer. One of the kids I was like friends with, but we were arguing because he was upset that I was like spending so much time with my boyfriend.
Oh,
but I didn't.
that's
But he's gay. Like it wasn't like he just was like jealous. Like, you know, like just like I used to hang out with him every day. Started hanging out with my boyfriend. It was like a stupid thing.
Maybe he wasn't 100% gay.
Yeah, no, he's 100% gay, from what I'm told. But yeah, so then
he just got petty, and jealous,
and then
so
it was like, here are my 3 friends, and we're all gonna get drunk and call this black girl. And you know, it's easy to say awful things into like this. Like you don't have to look at a human being.
Right.
Like it's easy to say awful things, but unfortunately for me, one of the people in the car happened to be the current governor of Connecticut's son.
Oh,
So this turned from like some kids prank called to like said some awful things to like front page of the newspaper. Throughout the entire state of Connecticut, a little bit in New York, NAACP outside of my school. It was like this situation that was talk about outrage culture, my first like introduction to outrage culture and the things that sort of formed my thoughts. Like this was a very formative experience in my life. Which to me it was non-political, but it was like my life wasn't mine. Like I went from like sitting down I was watching Talladega Nights with my boyfriend to being the most discussed person in the state of Connecticut. And what was interesting about it was just that because it was the governor of Connecticut's son that was in this car, they had to get the FBI involved to determine the authenticity of the like maybe she called herself, right? He instead of just saying like, yes, it was my son, he actually let the FBI investigate for 6 weeks and waited for his son to get arrested 6 weeks later. You know what I mean? Like,
did his son deny it?
They just want to see if they could get away with it, because this is politics. You know what I mean? Like, can we get away with it? Is it plausible for us to get away with it? You know, so 6 weeks of the entire state. I like left school. People were like fighting on my behalf, fighting.
You left school? You like, I'm gonna take a break?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It was just
Senior
like
year?
Yeah.
Damn.
This was just like it was like a monstrosity of a situation, and it was one of those things where like literally like letters to the editor, it'd be like moms like talk about, you know, outrage culture, right? Like, I don't believe Candace, like this happened, this girl, I believe she called herself, like you're like, oh, just looking for attention one night, and I just decided to say I was going to hang my family from a tree.
Isn't it funny that someone would even have an opinion on that?
It's bizarre. Like,
I don't believe her.
Who even writes letters to the editor? Like the whole thing is weird, retrospect.
Why would she call herself though, and do a prank like that on herself? Like that don't make no sense.
Probably because it was the governor's son, and just thinking she may have had something against him, or just to bring, I don't know, publicity.
That's crazy for somebody to even think something like that, though.
That's how people are.
Yeah.
It's bizarre. Like,
I don't believe her.
Who even writes letters to the editor? Like, the whole thing is weird, retrospectively, right? Like, I don't believe her, but that is what like life is about, right? Like
that same lady's probably about to write a YouTube comment right now. I don't believe you still.
Don't believe her.
This is how you got on fucking Fox News.
Exactly. Yeah. So it was the situation that like was just completely out of my control, and then as quick as it these kids got arrested, and then as quick as it happened, it was over for like everyone, but not for me or these kids, right? Like, so I never wanted these kids to get arrested. Like, if no one, like, this whole situation was taken out of my hands. People thought I didn't go to the police. Like, my teacher went to the police. It turned into the zoo. These kids were labeled publicly racists, right? The youngest kid in the car was 14. I'm not comfortable with ever labeling a 14-year-old racist, right? Or any of these kids racist. These are kids. And in my opinion, adults that fail to act like adults, and adults that fail to take a step back and say, okay, what would prompt these kids to do this? Why is it so easy to be mean, right? Why is it so easy nowadays for children to be mean? And no one, to me, like when I really thought about that, I went through like 5 years of like anorexia because of the situation.
Because of that one call?
Yeah.
Those
and I was the victim. Yeah. And
wow.
Yeah.
You went through anorexia.
Yeah, which is so weird now because like people that know me now are like, there's no way you never didn't eat. But I did not eat for like 5 years.
That's why you never want to like talk about people like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause you never know how somebody might take that. Some people, go off and, commit suicide and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Being talked about and feeling some type of way about themselves. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's crazy that she did. And you wouldn't think by her being the type of strong woman that she is, you know what I'm saying, that she would do something like that. Like somebody would make her resort to that.
Right,
You know
she
what
was
I'm saying?
17 at the time.
Right, you know what I mean?
But that's probably what helped her become this strong woman that she is.
Right.
Going through that.
Right,
And other things in life.
right.
No way you never didn't eat, but I did did not eat for like 5 years. I had issues with anorexia because anorexia is a disease that genuinely is about control. It's
Right.
about asserting control of your life, and I felt that I had my life was fine, and then like people took the narrative and decided to determine what the narrative was. You're a victim, or maybe you're a liar. You know, these kids are racist. These kids are this, and just nobody really thought that like you actually ruined all of our lives, right? Like for a little bit, like these kids went on to have like DUIs and get arrested and got into drugs, and it was because of this
Because of the
outrage.
pressure of everything that happened.
Yeah, and I was like, would have been totally cool with an apology. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, sorry.
Well, good for you for looking at it that way.
Yeah.
Because that's hard to do because everybody loves when they are allowed to get outraged. Everybody loves to get outraged. Obviously, what they did to you was horrible.
Right.
But I think a lot of kids, especially if they're drinking, they don't even understand how stupid and gross it is what they're doing. They just know they can do it,
Yeah.
and they get a thrill out of it. And then there's that mob mentality when there's like a bunch of people together doing the same
Yeah,
thing.
exactly.
And they ramp it up and start saying crazy
It's
shit.
really understandable when you just like think about it as a human being and not as somebody who has to have opinion. Like you're like, hey, we're gonna call this black girl, right? You've got a bunch of kids. We're gonna just say mean things to her on the phone, and you don't have to look her in the face. Right? It's like if I hold up this pen and I'm like, just say mean stuff, like someone's gonna get. You can say
Right.
anything to this
Right.
pen. So it's sort of it was a formative experience that in retrospect I understand has so much to do with why I am who I am, because I hated that, like that label obsessed culture and the outrage machine, and then like, oh, okay, we're done, but like, you know, forget the people that whose lives we just like.
Now, do you know those people anymore?
I don't. I know like the siblings of them because I was friends. Like that's the thing. Like one of the people that was involved, I was very good friends with his brother, and it's like you're just gonna tell me this kid's like a racist. Like I actually knew the kid's mother. You know, like and nobody cared. It was
So
just
you
a
think
hot
that
story.
they weren't necessarily racist,
Just
but they were
stupid.
just stupid and
Stupid.
mean
Stupid.
and
Did
being
something
shitty
stupid.
kids, and they knew that that was a way that they could scare you.
Right, that they could
freak
just,
you out,
yeah, and they might have been
affect
drunk,
you.
you know, like drunk. Maybe it was their first beer, right? But people
I doubt it.
can do.
17?
Well, the youngest was 14.
Oh wow!
The youngest, and this person was labeled a racist. Like that's to me is like that's harsh.
Right.
And people say, "Oh, you're too forgiving,"
Well, how
but
do you not label them a racist? Because what they said was most certainly racist.
yes, the words are racist, right? Can somebody?
Right.
I guess the question is, can somebody say something, say a word that is racist and not be a racist human being? Yes, I think. No, I'm going to tell you why. Yes, okay.
Okay.
Damn.
This.
I wanted to see what she was going to say about that.
Right.
Damn. Hey, y'all let us know if there's a continuance. That's a word, right? Continuance. There's a continuance to this one right here. I'm definitely interested to see what she was about to say right there.
Right.
You know, how you feel about that? Like, if somebody says a racist word, do you consider that them actually racist or not?
I think people just talk crap in general, not necessarily having to be racist.
Right.
You know, I think everyone has done it at some point in time.
Absolutely.
And, you know, said something and not, you know, being racist about it. But you have those who just adamantly say those things but really, like, mean it, you know,
Right.
that are truly racist.
Right. So you feel like a truly racist person, like, doesn't like a particular race, like, at all, period.
At all, period.
Like, can't hang, can't talk, can't nothing.
Don't even
right?
want to look in the
Right.
direction
Right.
of you,
Right.
you know?
Right. That's how I feel too about racist people. Somebody that's racist, you know, because like she said, being 14 years old, I don't think you can really consider that kid a racist.
Right.
They're just being taught something, or going off something that they're probably being
Right,
taught.
just being mean.
Yeah, being
just
mean
being
and something like that.
cruel.
Right. Probably heard them parents say it to somebody or something. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, y'all let us know what y'all felt about that Joe Rogan with Candace Owens. Leave your comments down below. Leave your suggestions down below. And you got anything else you want to add?
I have nothing to add.
All right, we'll go jumping through some shout outs then.
Okay, first shout out goes to Red Heart. What's up, Red Heart?
Red Heart, what's going on with you? Shout out to you. Think you enjoyed that Joe Rogan. I said, think you enjoyed that. Wow. Hope you enjoyed that Joe Rogan and Candace Owens. Leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think about it. And come back and join us for some more.
Yes. And second shout out goes to Bert Watkins. What's up, Bert Watkins?
Bert Watkins, what's going on with you, man? Shout out to you. Hope you definitely enjoyed that commentary right there. Let us know what your thoughts is about it. Leave a comment down below. And you already know what it is, man. It's Half and J. We up in this thing.
Yes.
You feel me?
Yes.
We out this thing?
We out.
All right. So we out this thing, y'all.
Yes.
Peace.